What's good? My name is Charity Croft, and Donald Trump has just become the third president in the history of the country to be impeached. But as we all know, impeachment does not mean removal from office, so today I will tell two very interesting stories. One about what might happen if Donald Trump is not removed from office, and one about what might happen if he is. But before the stories, let's talk about how all this works for those that may not know. So Donald Trump was just impeached by the House of Representatives, which basically means that he has been accused of high crimes, and now his case has to be put in front of the Senate, and they will actually determine whether or not he is removed. Now, in order to be actually removed from office, 67 of the 100 senators must vote to remove him. This is much more difficult than a simple majority, which would just be 51 out of 100. In order to get those 67 votes, all 45 of the Democrats must vote to remove him, plus 2 independents, plus 20 of the Republicans must flip and vote to remove him. This is possible, but very unlikely. So here are the two very interesting possibilities for our future. First, what happens if he doesn't get removed? Well, first of all, Republicans will be about as mad as they are right now, so no big deal. But they will be united. If this impeachment process has done anything for Republican voters, it's actually made them even more invested in Donald Trump. If he doesn't get removed from office, they will look at him as their underdog champion, their hero who defeated all odds and persevered against the witch hunt put on by their Democratic enemies. Now that honestly is to be expected. Please believe they will be going out to those polls November 2020 to do anything possible to re-elect the Donald. Democrats, on the other hand, will be disappointed, but not so much because everybody kind of realizes that it was a low likelihood that he was going to be removed anyway. Now, after that, Democrats must unite behind one candidate. No more attention can be given to Donald Trump because that is not how you win an election. If Donald Trump does not get removed from office, then Democrats must unanimously unite behind one candidate that is as radically left as Donald Trump is radically right. Now, in my opinion, there's only one candidate that's like that, but that's a whole nother video. The bottom line is this: regardless of how intelligent or unintelligent you may think Donald Trump is, he is a master of one thing: attention. And attention is the most valuable commodity. Donald Trump didn't beat Hillary Clinton because he's necessarily the best fit for office, whatever that means. He beat Hillary Clinton because he understood how to get massively more attention than her. So if Democrats have any hope at beating Republicans, they will be required to pick a candidate that is capable of garnering just as much attention as Donald Trump can. A candidate that can inspire Democrats to care more about electing that candidate than defeating Donald Trump. And to put it frankly, that will be a very difficult undertaking. What might happen if Donald Trump is removed? Well, if Donald Trump becomes the first president in the history of the United States of America to be removed from the presidential office, then our country will be the most divided it's been probably since the Civil War. Half of the country will be ecstatically happy, and the other half will be in deep-seated anger. The streets of our country will be filled, and not just with one party, the streets of our country will be filled with everyone. On one hand, there'd probably be parades being thrown for what the Democrats would consider a monumental victory. And on the other hand, there would be protests and rallies put on by Republicans that feel that America has become an evil regime bent on destroying them. I believe our country is strong enough to make it through such a time. But if that time occurs, Americans must be conscious enough to try to function at their highest selves to maintain some kind of harmony. Now, a lot of Democrats are upset at Tulsi Gabbard for voting present at the impeachment trials. That was a very interesting move, but consider this. If Donald Trump is removed, then the only hope for our country might be a candidate that is capable of uniting the entire country back again. And at that point, a very center-leaning candidate like Tulsi Gabbard might become one of the better options. Now, I say might because we must consider that at this point, Mike Pence will very likely become the front runner of the Republican Party. And Republicans will be fueled by so much anger and so much disillusionment for this country that they will come out in droves to support this candidate. You see, the unfortunate thing about victories is that they can often leave you vulnerable and disarmed. That being said, many Democrats might be so excited that Donald Trump was removed from office that they don't even come out on the November 2020 election because they feel like they already won. And that is what Republicans are absolutely counting on, because if Donald Trump is removed, then they will rally behind Mike Pence stronger than ever. And again, this is why it is probably necessary that Democrats pick a radically left candidate, because the Republicans will be more radicalized than they have ever been, ever. And in order to defeat that, you need a Democratic candidate that really has the hearts of Democratic voters. Again, I think there is only one candidate that fits that description, but that's a whole nother video. So in conclusion, I'll say this. Whether Donald Trump is removed from the presidential office or not, although it will be a big deal, it will only be the battle, not the war. The marathon continues. I love you.